Hey, you're jacked in to Buffy's Angels. What a week we have for you today. I'm the guy who's watched them all a million times, Daniel Ehrenberg, and over there Logan Adair watching for the first time. What's up?
What is up, guys? How you doing? Good morning. Well, I guess it's probably like good evening for you, but how you guys doing? How you doing, Daniel?
I'm doing great, Logan. Just great.
I'm doing just incredible.
Justin Credible. That used to be a wrestler.
Oh, really? That's the guy Justin, the knife guy from Big Brother 2. He says that at one point.
Oh, yeah.
He says like, "I'm just incredible, and in case you didn't know, now you know," or something like that.
Oh, wow.
Or he said, "I'm just incredible, and just in case you didn't know, now you know," I think is what he says.
All right, we're getting in the weeds here already with Big Brother and wrestling references. All right, we're talking about 2 episodes of Buffy the Vampire Slayer this week, season 3, episodes 5 and 6, and that is Homecoming and Band Candy. All right.
Yeah, they didn't go to band camp like I predicted.
No.
And there's no Iron Man, I think, like I also predicted.
Some love Band Candy. I've seen this listed amongst the top 10 episodes of Buffy. I can't agree with that, but, people have a soft spot for that one.
Tim said that I would love it.
Yeah. And you didn't, did you?
That's the second episode we're covering. We'll get into it.
All right.
I sort of said at the beginning like I didn't like these episodes before we started recording, but I was just joking. So I don't want Dan to feel
it affected me. I'm like all nervous.
I just said it because it was like there was sort of like an awkward silence. I didn't know what to say, so I was just like, "Oh, these episodes suck, huh?" But I was just kidding.
All right, I hope so.
Yeah.
We don't have awkward silences, Logan. I was just setting up my shit.
I know, it was just like the first thing when I came on.
All right. Logan, let's talk about it. Homecoming. It aired November 3rd, 1998. I never went to a homecoming dance in my life, but I did perform with the marching band at a couple of homecoming games. School...
Why?
Well, I played drums in the marching band.
Oh, I thought you just performed with them at those games for fun. Those like, you just jumped in.
No.
Jumped in. I won Homecoming King in middle school. Did you know that about me?
What the fuck?
I was my middle school Homecoming King. I swear to God.
That's insane. Did you have a crown?
Maybe for like the photo. I don't think I got to keep a crown. I don't think I kept the crown.
Were you dating a girl that was Homecoming Queen?
No, I wasn't. I had a friend that was. The thing, it was like 3 people, 3 guys, 3 girls, and
a homecoming court.
Yeah,
that's how they did it in my school. Yeah,
and it was one of my friend's girlfriends. She won the homecoming queen, and I liked her for a long time. But then she moved. She moved when we were in like 8th or 9th
But
grade.
that was the night. You're king and queen. Make it happen. Who cares about your middle school friend?
This wasn't like I don't think this was like a night occasion. This was like a weird, I don't remember what this was. But yeah, it was pretty fun. I think it was just because I had 2 younger brothers that were like in middle school also, and like they had their friends, and they were like, let's go for, they were his brother.
Yeah, you packed the vote.
Yeah, I think that's what happened.
Boy, okay. Well, I'll tell you what, other elections were happening in the world November 3rd, 1998 when this aired. It was Decision 98. A lot of the other networks were carrying coverage of the midterm elections. All right?
Yeah.
That's good stuff. Okay, that was a good segue, right?
Yeah.
All right, I'll tell you. You want to know what else was going on?
Yes.
What a sad day it was in the comic book world, Logan. As Bob Kane died on November 3rd, 1998, the co-creator of Batman.
That's what I was going to guess.
Yeah. Oh, I should have had you guess.
No, that's all right.
But Bob Kane, he's credited as creating Batman. I do want to always give credit to Bill Finger, because while Bob Kane created Batman, Bill Finger created the Batmobile, the Batcave, the Joker, Robin, Gotham City, Alfred, like basically everything you give a shit about. Like Bob Kane was just like drawing a dude in a bat costume. But hey,
pretty good.
But hey, people are still wearing that bat costume to this very day.
Thanks, Bob.
Yeah, thank you to Bob. And congratulations to Robert Pattinson on all his great success. The number one song in America was still "The First Night" by Monica. Now, I when we first covered the song, I said I didn't even remember it, and here it is. It was number one for weeks.
You were tuned out these few weeks of life.
I guess so, man. I was too busy listening to 92.3 K Rock.
Yeah.
But the number one song in the UK was "Believe" by Cher, which was a huge song in America as well. But I guess UK, they liked it even more. Do you believe in life after love?
Oh, that's that one? I was wondering what that was.
Oh, yeah.
That's what that was my first thought.
When I had the happiness and I can't
You're asking if I believe in life
through.
after love.
I got nothing for you. All right, go ahead. You do believe in it.
You don't.
No, I guess I do. I've been in love and I'm still alive today, so sure.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah. All right.
You've only been in love once?
No, I've been in love a few times. It's been a mess. Really? Yeah.
Are there different scales to being in love?
Oh, absolutely.
More in love? Yeah.
Yeah. They're like the three big ones in my life, and
they're all different.
Yeah, and then a few little lesser ones. Yeah. All right. Logan.
Yep.
Big week for music.
All right.
Music releases. First, Bright Eyes album came out this week. Letting Off the Happiness, one of my favorite artists, Conor Oberst. He was only 18 when he put out that album.
Wow.
Yeah, but it's good. And he's still putting out good albums to this day.
Did he get Bright Eyes from Planet of the Apes?
Could be. Who knows?
I'd like to ask him, but he's dead, right?
He's not dead.
Oh, he's not dead?
Didn't I just say he's putting out good albums to this day?
Yeah, you did.
No, he had a couple of attempts. He almost died a few times, but he's still with us.
Oh, he tried to kill himself?
Yeah, well, it's implied in a lot of his songs. I don't know for sure. But yeah, he Phoebe Bridgers?
Sure.
He kind of discovered her and
Wow.
and dated her for a minute. All right. And then you got...
Like she dated him to get famous.
No, I'm not saying that.
To get her foot in the door.
No, I think Conor Oberst just like...
Good for her.
Dated everybody he ever worked with. She's with Bo Burnham now. Your friend.
Bo Burnham.
Yeah. I saw them at a concert in a Instagram Live by Keith Urban.
His concert?
I know. He was just like in the crowd, and then in the background you could see them canoodling, and that's how people found out about it.
So neither of them were performing. Just they were at whose concert was
I
it?
don't know.
What the hell? All right.
All right.
Probably Taylor Swift. I think she's on tour right now.
Well, she is. Yeah, it's a big deal. The Eras tour.
Yeah,
people are excited. I'm not going. I think she already came to Vegas, and people were excited about that. There was traffic.
I'll be going. She's going to Gurley, Alabama next week. I'll be going there.
Yeah, it's gonna cost you $250 for like the back row.
No, she's not going to Gurley, Alabama.
I know. What's Gurley, Alabama?
I was naming a random place near me.
Oh, okay. What's your town again? Huntsville?
Huntsville, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So what else came out this week in terms of CDs? I'll tell you. Beck's Mutations, the follow-up to his big album, Odelay. And that...
Odelay,
yeah.
Did you do that?
A little bit. But Odelay was... It was supposed to be Ode to L.A. That's what it meant. Yeah.
Ode to me. My initials are L.A. Ode to Logan Adair.
Yeah, you should be into that album. But Mutations, that was the first time, like, he was busting out acoustic guitars. People were seeing another side of Beck. He's not just the loser guy anymore. And that was a big album for him. Great album. And finally, but the big album release of the week, Alanis Morissette's supposed former infatuation Junkie, which was the follow-up to her big album, Jagged Little Pill, the one everyone knows. People were very excited about it. They thought it was going to be another Jagged Little Pill. It didn't really pan out that way for her. It had one big hit, Thank You. You know that one? Thank you, India.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Thank you,
Not my
Consequence. No, of course, it's no one's favorite. That if that's your favorite Alanis Morissette song, I don't even know what to say to you.
I think I like You Ought to Know. That's a good one.
Of course. The bits You Ought to Know or Hand in My Pocket or Ironic.
Ironic's fun.
Yeah. All right. So
You Learn. What about You Learn?
You Learn, I'll allow You Learn.
That's a great one. That's a great one.
That is a great one. All right. Movies. You want to know what's going on in the Cineplex?
Tell me.
Number one movie in America, debuting it. By the way, a terrible week at the box office. The number
Much bigger next week.
Yeah. The number one movie in America only made $9 million. But debuting at number one was John Carpenter's Vampires.
Yeah. Unseen by me, as Henry would say.
He does say that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good movie with James Woods fighting vampires and shit.
Is that his best? Is that your
James
number
Woods?
one, James Woods?
No,
Yeah.
James Woods is in my favorite movie of all time. Well, one of them, Once Upon a Time in America.
I always hear like James Woods is so good at vampires. Like he's so cool in that movie.
I mean, he's pretty cool.
Yeah.
He's pretty damn cool. All right, number two at the box office debuted last week. Last week, Buffy was a rerun, so we didn't cover that week. Pleasantville. I saw it in theaters.
All right.
You know that movie?
Yeah, barely.
What? They like it's like a storm happens and Reese Witherspoon and Tobey Maguire get pulled into their television set and then they have to live life in a sitcom, a black and white sitcom, but they bring love to the town and then shit in the sitcom starts turning colors and the adults in the town are freaked out by it and start to try to shut the colors down.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's a pretty good movie actually.
All right.
Sounds dumb, but it's not. All right. And the other big movie release this week outside of the top five indie release, American History X. With Ed Norton. He was nominated for an Oscar for that movie. He played
a white supremacist.
Yeah, he
right?
played a neo-Nazi, curb stomps a guy.
Yeah, that's the curb stomping movie.
Yeah,
Never saw that one either.
That's good. You should see that.
So many movies I haven't seen, though.
I know. And also, if you're going to see a neo-Nazi movie, I kind of prefer Romper Stomper with Russell Crowe.
Really?
Yeah.
Like that's got to be a hot take.
It might be.
If you tweeted out Romper Stomper greater than American History X, people would be like, oh, that's crazy.
But I bet you a couple people will pipe in and go, like, I like that.
Yeah.
Good
definitely.
take. Yeah. All right. You want to know what's going on in wrestling?
I guess not tweet it, put it on Reddit, right?
Yeah, I guess so. All right, in wrestling, on Monday Night Raw, Vince McMahon is in full evil mode, and he's trying to turn Mankind against Stone Cold and the gang.
They should have teamed. What were they called? Were they Vince McMahon kind? Was that their thing?
Oh, no. But it's like Mankind, he was always like a scared little boy looking for a father figure. And Vince McMahon was trying to like give him a father figure. And so this week he says, if you interfere with the main event, I will gift you with this. And he pulls out for the very first time the Hardcore Championship. Didn't exist before this episode of Raw. And Mankind responds by saying, thanks, Dad. A classic Mick Foley line. Also in this episode, Vince McMahon yells at Shaquille O'Neal for being backstage.
Wow, what was he doing back there?
Just a little cameo.
Eating popcorn? What was he doing?
No, he was like hanging out with wrestlers, and Vince McMahon yells at him for not having a backstage pass. And he's like,
That's
I'm
great.
Shaq. I could do what I want.
He should have dunked on him.
Yeah, he should have.
He should have said, if you can make this free throw, you can stay.
Oh, another free throw joke. Coming hot and heavy. All right. All right, that's all I got for this week. We can get
Shakespeare
into
in
it.
Love premiered in New York.
Sure.
Never saw
I was
that
there.
either.
You never
You
saw
were there?
No,
You went to the premiere?
no, I'm joking. I was in New York.
So were
Shakespeare
you
in
looking out
Love.
your window from afar?
Yeah, you can see at the distance, like when 9/11 happened. Um, all right, so this episode of Buffy was written and directed by David Greenwalt. Of course, Greenwald is about to leave Buffy to go off and create Angel. So this is actually his last episode as a writer. All right. Started off with Teacher's Pet, the Praying Mantis episode.
Great up.
Great ep. And now here he is wrapping it all up. And it's his second to last episode as director. He comes back a little bit later in season 3, directs one more episode. A classic, if I might say so myself.
Okay. What's his best since he's done? Should we pick what we think our favorite episode of his is?
David Greenwalt? Sure.
Yeah, out of his writing credits.
Yeah, I mean,
because I've already ranked them all, but
what's on the list?
All right. Well, I mean, this is my ranked order.
I think Ted is a good.
All right, do we go in order, chronological order?
Yeah, I could do it. Teacher's Pet, Angel, Nightmares. Those are his season 1 offerings. Is that right?
Yep.
This is off the dome, by the way. I'm amazing at Buffy. Then he wrote School Hard. Co-wrote School Hard. He wrote and directed Reptile Boy. All right.
He came up with Hey Reptile Boy.
He did. He wrote that.
And he shot it and said, "God damn, I nailed it."
All right, what's after that? Ted?
Ted. And then on to season 3.
And then on to season 3. All right. So, I mean, the best episode he's involved in, I'd say, is School Hard. But
you didn't guess the season 3 ones. Faith, Hope, and Trick. And
I know that. We just did them.
Okay.
But
well, I think Angel's is his best one.
Angel, I could see that.
Or School Hard. Love those two.
Yeah, Angel's his best one solo because he co-wrote School Hard with Joss Whedon. So we'll say Angel. That's his crowning achievement.
Worst, Nightmares. Sorry.
All right. I would say Reptile Boy. Which,
really?
which makes sense. But the Angel being his best episode, of course, makes sense because he then goes off and writes about Angel for another bunch of years.
Yeah, absolutely makes sense.
Yeah. All right. I'm ready to hear your notes on Homecoming.
Oh, all right. Well, I'm ready to scrotum to you.
Thank you.
What does scrot mean? What does that mean?
Honestly, it's just short for scrotum. It was something that Nathaniel and I used to say when we were in like high school, and it made its way to the podcast somehow.
Oh, I thought that was real.
No.
Oh, wow. Okay, so the group, they're all talking about Homecoming, right? Because that's coming up. We got to talk about Homecoming, right? Obviously. And they're seniors. This is their last one.
I know.
Except for Oz is a super senior, right?
That's true. Well, it's still his last one, hopefully.
Hopefully. So the whole thing in this episode, Cordelia expects to be the homecoming queen. And my question is like, why does she expect to be the homecoming queen when she's, from what we're seeing, been spending all of her time with these guys? She's not mingling with everybody else.
She still thinks of herself as the queen bee of the school, and she figures like if she can do some campaigning, she's got the name recognition. Okay. At some point in her life, she was probably the presumptive homecoming queen.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. And here we go. Another Scott Hope kiss. Hate it. Hate seeing that. Hope it's the last one we ever see. And they broke up, so hopefully it should be.
It is.
I
don't think we ever see Scott Hope again after this episode.
Okay, that's fine. So what happens? So Buffy leaves, right? And she goes to Angel?
Yep.
And she delivered him a glass of blood, and I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Did Buffy murder somebody to get that glass of blood?
No, she brings him blood again. Either I think maybe in the next episode, and she says that she got it from a butcher shop. So I assume that's where she got this one as well.
I thought she was bringing him meat then.
No, that was also blood.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess meat wouldn't help a vampire. They need the blood, right?
Yeah. Vampires don't need to eat.
Yeah, right. And so what? She like tells him about Scott. She's like, "Hey, by the way, I'm seeing a guy," and he's all bummed.
No, that was last week. This
Oh,
time he asks about Scott, like, "How's your boyfriend?"
oh yeah, that was
And
a fucking loser.
yeah, and she starts to say, like,
Way
not
bigger
so.
than you.
No, she starts to say they broke up, but then
Oh yeah,
she's like, "No, I don't remember how it goes."
yeah. Well, they talk about Scott, but he's all
Yeah,
upset, and she's also wearing his leather jacket. I
yeah,
remember wearing a leather jacket, and so. But I remember that she's talking about because the next scene, what happens? Buffy gets dumped by
yeah, because
Scott.
that's like it whip pans to Scott dumping her.
Yeah. And he's like, "You're like always busy. I got to get out of here." And she's like, "All right, whatever." And there are guys watching in a van. Are these guys twins? They look like twins to me.
Yeah, they're German twins, Frederick and
And
Hans
twins.
Gruens. Very good. Frederick and Hans Gruenstaller are the characters' names, and they are
They
working, of
die,
course,
right?
for Elaine's boss, Mr. Pitt, who eats candy bars with a fork and knife.
Great job. I wanted to be the one to say that.
Hmm.
But yeah, I believe it's a Snickers bar, by the way.
I think you're right.
I believe it because that's my favorite chocolate bar, and I popped when I saw that.
Well, see,
Um,
I like a Milky Way because it's basically a Snickers but with no nuts, and I'm not a nut guy.
right. All right. So we, yeah. Those guys in the van, they're twins. All right. So we meet the mayor finally. There's been a lot of lead up to the mayor, and I have to say, I don't think he met my expectations. Really.
Well, he's not supposed to. He's different than you expect him to be. But he's gonna be with us for some time.
I don't dislike him or anything, but I don't feel like I really understand him.
Look, he's set up to be this really evil, mean, powerful man, and then you meet him, and he's mostly concerned with cleanliness. And so it diverts expectations, but we're gonna see a lot more of him.
Yeah.
We also in this scene meet his deputy mayor, Alan Finch, who you should keep an eye on, maybe.
We met that guy.
Yeah, he's the one you see him nervous outside the mayor's office, and then he goes in, and then the mayor berates him for not having clean enough fingernails.
Oh yeah. I remember him. He's not bad or anything. All right. So that's all that really happens with the mayor, I guess. We go to picture day. They're all taking pictures, but Buffy.
It reminded me of the beginning of Can't Hardly Wait.
No, I don't remember it that well enough. So I sort of have a question. So Buffy isn't there. She's training with Faith in the library.
Yeah.
And Xander says, they're like, "Where's Buffy?" And Xander's like, "Oh, she's getting sweaty." That's what he says. And Cordelia's like, "Hey, come on." And he's like, "I'm sticking to what I said," or whatever. And is he trying to make her break up with him?
I don't know about that. I just think
Okay.
he's a rascal. He's a little scamp.
Little rascal. All right.
Yeah.
Um. Okay. Fair enough. So Cordelia basically is like, I will tell Buffy. I have to go somewhere anyway.
Yeah,
So I'll just tell her.
Buffy doesn't know about Picture Day because it was like announced when she was still like expelled.
Yeah. So I have a question about that too. How is she in school already? But they were like, you have to do all this to get back into school. But she's just like going weeks, like still doing it. But
She did that.
No, because she goes to a teacher later and she's like, "Hey, I need a recommendation to get back in school." And
Oh
it's like,
yeah,
"What?
you're
You're in
right.
school? What are you talking
I guess
about?"
they let her start going, but she's still got to finish all that stuff. That's right. She goes to Miss Moran, her favorite teacher, and she doesn't even remember.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't quite understand the whole suspension, but she's still there. I don't know. But anyway, so Cordelia, but she gets distracted like campaigning to people. She's like, "Hey, vote for me," and she doesn't end up telling Buffy. So Buffy ends up missing picture day. It's a whole big thing, and Buffy's like, "Hey, what? Why does she do it? Just to, like stick it to Cordelia?"
Yeah, I just think Buffy's not having a good time right now. Scott Hope just dumped her. She's got her weird ancient ex-boyfriend like living in a mansion. She has to deliver blood to him. Her the teacher that she liked last year doesn't remember who she fucking is. and now she mispictured.
Do we know her,
it.
by the way?
No.
I didn't remember. Yeah, I didn't remember Miss Moran. No idea. Okay, so yeah,
I think something snaps in Buffy. She's like, "Didn't I used to be awesome? Like, what the fuck?"
yeah, that's cool. Actually, she's like, I can show you like the homecoming queen within me. I'll prove it to you what I'm capable of.
Yeah.
And so she says she's gonna run for the homecoming queen. This is just open to anybody. They could have picked anybody to be homecoming queen. Because I know Buffy later has a bulletin board of like the people, but then later, like when the girl wins, she's like, they could have picked anybody and they picked us or something.
Well, I think they're the front runners, or they're the ones campaigning anyway, which probably means they're gonna win. I remember one year when I was in like 10th grade or something, I put up posters around the school campaigning to win prom king at the senior class's prom. I wanted to beat all of them as a 10th grader. Didn't pan out that way for me, but it was funny. The posters were great.
You do it again as a junior, run for the senior
No,
class?
I never cared again.
Oh, okay. Just in general?
Yeah, I didn't even really care then. I just thought it was a funny thing to do.
Oh, did you get any votes?
Yeah.
You like to say like Connor, like you finished 3rd place in the presidential election because you ran or whatever?
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, Connor Roy.
Yeah.
No,
I'm a conhead, by the way. What about you?
Oh, absolutely.
Conheads unite.
Yeah. I like Willa a lot as well. His wife. So, no, I think I knew someone who was like on the committee or something in that class, and they told me I got like 7 votes or something like that.
That's pretty good. 7 votes.
Yeah.
All right. Do we meet the villains of the episode?
Yes.
All right. This was fun. Where do we know Gorch from? I remember Gorch.
Lyle Gorch. We first saw him.
Lyle Gorch. That's
Yeah.
right. Lyle Gorch.
We first saw him with his brother Tector.
Okay.
And that was back in Bad Eggs. Remember, Buffy meets them at the mall.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, and but now Lyle's back with he's with a new wife, Candy Gorch.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. Candy in back-to-back episodes.
What do you mean?
Candy and then the band Candy in the next
Oh,
episode.
yeah. A lot of candy on the brain here.
Lots of candy. We'll see if it carries over into the next one. But that was fun, and when he seemed to really love her, I liked their relationship. He was really sad when I love that he gets away. I love the through line of Lyle Gorch. I can't wait to see where that goes.
I think this might be the last time we see him.
Oh, so well, I'm glad he lives then.
Yeah, he survives the series.
I'm glad. That's great. If we ever do the Buffy Brant Steele, I'm sure Lyle Gorch will be there.
Great.
I'll try to get him there. So who else? We'll save the big one for later. We got those
bear
twin guys.
Yeah, the twin guys. There's like a Daniel Boone fellow with a bear trap.
Yeah.
And lastly, of course,
Kulak.
Kulak of the Miquat clan.
Yeah, and who plays Kulak of the Miquat clan?
Well, it's Chad Stahelski, who went on to direct all the John Wick movies.
Yeah, and this was pretty cool. I obviously didn't know at the time, but then the credits at the end. Honestly, it was such a good ending, I thought, to this episode of like the girls on stage and Buffy and Cordelia walking off, that I just sat there and watched some of the credits, and then it popped up Chad Stahelski, and I was like, is that can't be the Chad Stahelski? And then I was like, oh, but he was like a stuntman. It probably is. I looked it up. Sure enough, Chad Stahelski.
Yeah, he's got his big yellow demon with like Stegosaurus spots.
Yeah, pretty cool. I liked him. All right, but he dies, right?
Yeah, I like anytime Mr. Trick refers to him, spiny headed guy. Whatever.
Yeah,
he's good.
I guess Trick's gonna be around for a little bit. That's pretty cool. He might be like the master, the Spike of the season.
Well, yeah, I think he's sort of like Luke was to the master. If like Luke stuck around longer.
Yeah, he was in one episode, Luke.
2 episodes.
Oh, he died in the harvest?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then those are all the villains that we've got?
Yes.
And they call this Slayer Fest 98.
Yeah.
You like that?
Well, I'll tell you, I remember when this aired thinking like I hated that because it dates the episode so much. But now it's been so many years that everything's dated, so it's kind of funny. I think Slayer Fest '98.
Yeah, I have no issue with it at all. I didn't even think about it one way or the other.
Yeah.
All right, big moment.
What?
Zandillo.
Oh, sure. Yeah, let's get into it.
All right, I have a lot of questions about this scene. One, what the hell are they doing, right? Because this is not Homecoming. Why are they just trying on their outfits together, like at Willow's house, like weeks before?
Willow's earlier on in the episode says, I've got a few options for dresses for the homecoming dance."
He is the choice to try on the outfits too.
Yeah, it should have been
not Buffy or Oz,
Buffy.
her boyfriend.
But
this was insane.
No. She says, "I really want to wow Oz," so she's trying to get like a dude to. Like,
that's crazy. That's still crazy. I don't.
I mean, I don't think she expects anything to happen. Xander's with Cordelia. She's with Oz. Everybody's happy.
I don't know. I don't know about this. I don't know about this. If you had a girlfriend that did this with a guy she liked her entire life,
yeah, I'd be pretty pissed off.
That's what this is with Xander and Willow.
I
just thought the whole situation was crazy.
Oh, I don't like this scene for many reasons, but
it's a fun scene. I like the scene. You don't like the scene?
Well, here's what I don't like about it. I think I've talked about it before on the podcast. I fucking hate anything in movies or TV where someone's like, "I don't know how to dance," and someone else is like, "I'll show you," and then I hate that. It's such a common trope, and it
sometimes
never,
people don't know how to dance.
It has never once happened in real life. Like, what? I'm going to teach you how to dance in 5 minutes by swaying around the room with you to this fucking weird Lisa Loeb song that we're playing in the background for no reason?
I think it's cute.
Why are they listening to such romantic music in that scene? That's the problem.
Yeah, that's a great point.
If they had on "Thank You" by Alanis Morissette, I don't think they would have kissed.
I don't think I know "Thank You."
What are you talking about? It's the one I was just singing. "Thank You, India."
Oh, that's the one from earlier.
Yeah.
All right, but I liked it. I thought that it was all right. They dance and they kiss, and I like some of the lines they say. They say it's a clothes fluke, which is pretty funny.
Yeah.
Just because they're all dressed up handsome. They kissed, and there's another line where they're like, "We got to get out of these clothes." Oh, I didn't mean that.
Yeah, I like that too.
I really had no issue with it. And I remember a long time ago, I was like, if Willow and Xander ever get together, I'm gonna be pissed. And I'm not that they're together at this point, but I feel like they've done well enough along the way of them like laying the groundwork that they kind of secretly still like each other, even though. And with like when Oz found out about Cordelia and Xander originally when they kissed, like her reaction to it all. I feel like they've done a good job with everything. I really had no issue with this.
And
I guess you just hated the dancing.
And you could kind of, no, that's the only thing I hate really. And you could kind of now see why Xander can see Willow as like a sexual being, whereas he wasn't able to in the first season. Like
that's just because you do.
No, I'm just saying she's gone through a lot of changes since then.
Sure. She's like, he's always talking to her about like, you've been to second base with Oz yet? He's always trying to get the information of how far she's gone. It's a weird dynamic. Is that it from that scene? We move on?
Yeah.
All right. So as we said earlier, Buffy has like that big bulletin board of I wrote down the names. It's Cordelia, obviously, and then Michelle and Holly. Do we ever see them again?
No.
I didn't write their last name. I probably should have done that. No, we don't. We don't see them again?
No.
Yeah. All right. But this is
one
what
of them's
I wrote.
Asian, maybe the only Asian student at Sunnydale High School.
I thought there was a moment that was for a split second I thought it was like kind of racist, and then I read the board a little more, and I don't know if I don't think it is that much anymore. But for the Asian girls, like one of her pros was like she studies a lot. And then for the white girl, one of her cons was that she doesn't ever study. And I was like, all right, I guess that's okay. But if it was the one study thing was like for the Asian that she studies a lot, that would have been crazy.
Still a little iffy.
I know, but that's one thing I noticed on the board. Another thing I noticed was one of Cordelia's weaknesses was Xander.
Yeah, I like that too. It's kind of mean to Xander, but not but it's fair. There's another one on there that says like obsessed with PB board.
What's up?
And that was a shout out to the fans, because by this point there was this message board online called the Bronze Posting Board.
Yeah.
And or no, it was just obsessed with PB. It wouldn't have said board twice. And you could think that's peanut butter, but it stood for posting board, which was this message board, and the writers and some of the actors would go on that board and interact with the nerds.
Wow. They sort of do that same thing in Jigsaw, Saw 8, the worst Saw movie in my opinion. And they're like there used to be a website called, I think, jigsawrules.com, and in that movie they're like, yeah, I was on this website like I love jigsaw.com. Like it's not the same thing, but they sort of shout out that website that people used to go on. They sort of do that same thing. Anyway, so Xander, Willow, and Oz. I wrote Xander, Willow, Oz heel turn. They turn on Buffy, and they're now on Cordelia's side. Now they want Cordelia to win.
Yeah.
But Willow's like, yeah, she needs it more than you do. But I disagree. Buffy kind of needs this right now. Buffy's had a rough last 6 months or whatever.
Well, I think Willow and Xander are both feeling a little beholden to Cordelia at the moment because they feel bad that they kissed.
Yeah.
And Oz just goes along. He says, where Willow goes, so goes my nation.
Yeah, that's good. So this was a fun little montage. We get the girls campaigning, and we get the bad guys training. They're like fighting each other and stuff.
And we get a fastball song.
Really?
Yeah, great fastball song.
Where were we going without ever knowing the way?
It's
That's
not that one. They can't afford that one. But you don't know. Wait, you might know one other fastball song. Do you know? Was it out of my head? Was it out of my mind? Yeah, that's them too. But yeah, this is a fun one too, and it was exciting to hear them. Lisa Loeb and fastball in this episode. The soundtrack's working overtime.
Yeah, that's very fun. Season 3, we're really big spenders in season 3.
Yeah.
So some fun stuff here. So Buffy she drops a flyer in front of Scott, right? And then she ends up doing it again afterward, like on purpose to get people to check them off the list. And did she drop it on purpose with Scott?
Yeah, Scott was on the list. She crosses him off.
Yeah, but it was good acting. It looked like, I even rewound it. I was like, it looked like an accident when she did it. That was very good. Some other fun stuff. Jonathan's in this episode.
Yeah, he gets a nice big cupcake and $6.
$6 from Cordelia. And guess what? Guess what's also in the scene?
What?
The trophy case. Which means the witch is in there. This was very fun. Cordelia's talking to a bunch of nerds. She's like, I've known the Vulcan death grip since I was 3 years old.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
She knows the ways in.
I thought that was a great montage there. That was very fun. And then they end up taking it too far. They're like, you're a slut. Yeah, well, at least I have a dad. Oh, my God.
Yeah, it goes. Yeah. Buffy calls Cordelia a vapid whore at one point.
Vapid whore.
Yeah. It's pretty intense. But yeah, that is the worst. Like Cordelia is saying, did your parents even raise you? At least I had 2 or something. Yeah, whatever.
Crazy. And this was probably even better than the kiss here. The conversation that they have. You ready for this one?
Which conversation?
Xander, Willow.
Oh, sure, yeah.
The talk that they have. They're like, what are we going to do? And Xander's like, I don't know. That kiss was crazy. And then Willow's like, no, I'm talking about Buffy and Cordelia. And then they keep talking. And then at the end of the conversation, Xander's like, we got to get them talking again. And Willow's like, no, I was talking about the kiss. And I thought that was good. How it throughout the conversation, they flip the roles.
Yeah.
Great job there. I thought that was one of the better scenes of the episode. So then what happens? They decide they're gonna parent trap Buffy and Cordelia. They put them in the limo together. I have a question about the limo. Why are the twins driving this limo? Did they kill the limo driver?
Yeah, I guess.
We should have seen that. That was a fun scene. I always like in movies when we see that. That's one of my favorite things, when you like kill the guy, take their outfit, or steal their position at their job. That's so fun. That sucked. All right, but so he takes them, drops them off in the woods, and there's like a TV saying like, you have 30 seconds to run.
I love this. Mr. Trick has set up a TV on a tree with a VHS player attached to it, and they press play on the VHS, and it's Mr. Trick telling them about Slayerfest 98. But the best part of it is at the end of him describing Slayerfest 98 to them, he has added a little graphics card where Slayerfest 98 appears on the screen in weird lettering.
Yeah.
And I love the preparation, Mr.
And it
Trick
explodes,
put into
right?
this
He sets up an
VHS
explosion.
Yes, and then the VHS explodes.
It goes off at the end. Yeah, that was great. I'm glad you went into it there. The bear trap guy, probably my least favorite of all the guys here.
Of course.
He shows up and he throws a bear trap at Buffy, and it's a great like slow motion where she almost touches it but pulls her foot out, and she tosses it at him and gets him, and it's very cool.
That's a cool shot. Shout out to Greenwald. That might be his best shot of the episode.
Yeah, I would say so, probably. And so Buffy and Cordelia end up running. They find a house. They run to a house, and Cordelia ends up making a remark. She's like, what if I never tells, or I think she's like, what if I never realize if I actually love Xander or not? She's like, that's one of the things she says, and you're like, oh no, he's just been kissing Willow this episode. It's very, very sad. And they find a spatula and a phone, and she's like, I have a spatula and a phone. Here, let's use the spatula. And Buffy's like, why not use the phone? Why are we using the spatula?
And Cordelia goes, well, you could like hit people with this.
But then it comes in handy. I think it kills Gorch's wife. It kills somebody later.
Yeah. They end
wife.
up staking Candy with that.
Yeah, but so they use the phone to call Giles, but then they set up a tracking device. Oh no, the tracking device is on the flowers, right? I thought that was on the phone. Wait, was there a tracking device on the phone?
No, the tracking device was on.
I think that they tricked me. I think they cut from this to them in the tracking room, and I thought it was from the phone.
Right, but then you find out later it was on their corsages.
Clever Green Vault. Clever girl. So we go to the is the dance at the Bronze? Where's the dance at?
School? I think it's just at school. Yeah, like in the gym or something.
Yeah, okay. So I really liked this. This was really I guess there's a Giles moment, but we don't really see Faith in this episode except for this one moment. Oh, we saw her earlier training, right? We saw her training.
She's just sort of around.
I love Faith. It sucked having her out of this episode. That's one of the complaints I have with this episode. But
I remember I was such a big Faith fan already by the time of Homecoming that my complaint at the time, I don't have this complaint anymore because I appreciate the dynamic between Buffy and Cordelia. But it was like Cordelia was a little old hat for me by now. I was like, I want to see more Faith. It's a bummer that like Faith and Cordelia switched places because I want Faith to be in the episode more.
I understand that, but I love Cordelia so much.
Yeah.
But so sorry, I lost. Oh, so right, they're at the dance, so Faith walks up to Scott, and Scott's like macking on this chick, and she's like, by the way, she's like that ointment you use, or she like makes a remark about like how he like has like something weird going on, and and the girl walks off or something. I don't know, but I thought that was fun. She ruins his game by like saying something's up with him.
Yeah, she salts his game.
Great job, Faith. Great job. And some other stuff, like Xander, Willow, they're not really chatting with each other.
Well, I like
Giles.
Giles coming up from behind Xander and Willow and going like, Buffy's in trouble. No, I'm just kidding, guys.
Just kidding. Yeah, that was very fun. And what happens? Are we like at the end? There's like a big fight at the end.
Sorta, yeah.
Oh, the one guy dies.
I also just want to point out that Dingoes Ate My Baby are playing the dance.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you notice
Are they playing back-to-back episodes?
Yes.
Wow.
That's why they have so much money for background music, because then they just have Dingoes Ate My Baby performing in every episode. So
I don't think I noticed them in this episode performing.
Well, and Devin even gets to announce the homecoming queen.
Wow, amazing. Great spot for Devin there.
Great spot for Devin. And they're performing a song called She Knows at one point in the episode. And Willow's feeling rotten about having Kiss Sander. And she makes a comment that Oz wrote this song for me.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I used to listen. I used to listen to fucking that song all the time and think about how it was written for Willow.
That's funny. So Kulak, how do you say it? Kulak?
Kulak of the Miquot clan.
Kulak of the Miquot clan. He dies. He gets blown up by a grenade.
Yeah.
Very cool. So Giles gets knocked out. He goes to the library, but then you just cut to Gorch in the library, and Giles is knocked out, and you're like, oh no, Giles. And so we go to school, and there's a big attack in the hallway, and somebody kills. I think it's Buffy kills Gorch's wife. I don't know if it's Buffy or Cordelia, but somebody does.
Buffy kills Gorch's wife because then it's Cordelia who like talks Gorch out of the room.
Yeah, yes. And so that was great. He lives, I guess, never to be seen again, but that's okay. And I thought this was pretty cool. They learn that they're tracking them, and so they use that to make them kill each other.
Yeah, but Buffy's got a great plan here. She asks for wet toilet paper, which confuses Cordelia. But what she's doing is she's gonna put the corsage in the wet toilet paper and throw it at one of them, and because it's wet, it sticks on them. And then so they are looking at their little GPSs, and they think each other are Faith and Buffy.
Genius, great job, Buffy.
Yeah, so they kill each other.
Some of her best work, I would say. Great
Yeah,
job.
pretty sadistic having two twins kill each other.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So I didn't really understand the Trick and the mayor, right?
Yeah, well, Mr. Trick gets dragged out of the house that he's in with Mr. Pitt, and we find out it's because the mayor is recruiting him.
So is the mayor? Did he want Buffy dead? He was like, I really liked Slayerfest. That was a great idea.
I don't know that he wants Buffy dead, but I think he was impressed with the ingenuity of Slayerfest, and so he's like, let me get this guy on my team.
Okay, all right, I understand. So we go to the homecoming queen announcement
By Devin.
And what did you say?
By Devin.
Yes, Devin. Devin announces who it is, and he says the homecoming queen is. It's a tie between Michelle and Holly. They both win. And you're like, oh, well, that's nice. I can get behind that. Neither of these guys have to win. And so they walk off. They're like, who needs this anyway? And
I think it's
like, oh, thank you.
Yeah, it's a really funny ending because when he says it's a tie, you automatically think it's going to be Buffy and Cordelia tying. And that would have been such a lame ending for the episode. But they turn... Yeah, right. But they turn it on its head. It's good.
Yeah, it's good. And I really enjoyed the ending. Really enjoyed the episode. By the way, no Mom, no Snyder.
Well, we'll see them both a lot the next week.
Yes, we sure will. But I thought it was a good episode. I didn't really understand. I didn't really love Trick. I don't know. I don't really have that many complaints. I don't know. I'm really reaching, I guess.
What do you give it?
I don't know. What do you give it?
Sort of between a 3 and a 4. I'll give it a 3. All
right. I will. Yeah, I wish Faith was in it a little more.
Me too.
I'll give it a 3. Who the hell's Miss Moran? Who the fuck are you? She's your favorite teacher. She's never been around once.
She your LVP?
No. Maybe. I wrote down Mayor because he underperformed.
He's my MVP.
Really? I wrote down Angel? ?
Yeah, spoilers, the Mayor is a top 5 Buffy character for me.
Wow, top 5.
Yeah.
Like more than Xander.
Yeah, he's my favorite bad guy in Buffy history.
I love Spike.
I love Spike too. The Mayor's my man.
Drusilla's better than the Mayor.
All right. You haven't seen much of the Mayor. You didn't
I
like
guess-
Drusilla after one episode either.
Yeah, I was like, what are these fucking dolls? I still don't understand the dolls though.
Yeah,
What the hell were the dolls? What did those do?
they're just weird. She's weird.
All right, yeah, I'll go Moran. Moran LVP. Oh, I'll go 3 stars, I guess. MVP, I'll go Buffy. Great plan making those guys kill themselves. I thought great job.
I'm gonna go Cordelia.
Great.
I loved her little her berating Lyle Gorch into leaving at the end. Like that's great.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think you can go Willow, you can go Xander. I think you can go any of them this episode. Not Giles. No Giles.
I think you
Sorry.
could. Giles is having a real nice time this episode.
What?
Feeling a little loose.
Way looser in the next one. This episode, he's not doing that much.
Oh
I
my
feel
god,
like.
you're right. I think Giles might be the MVP of the next one. We'll get to it.
Lots of good contenders in the next episode.
Yeah.
All right, so this is where I will rank Homecoming. I think I will rank it between. Is it better than Anne? What do you think?
I put it above Anne.
What about Faith, Hope, and Trick?
I'd put it maybe below that one.
I think so too. I think it's right between Faith, Hope, and Trick and Anne. I think I put it 14.
All right, where do I have these? Read me from Faith, Hope, and Trick if I think that's better.
Faith, Hope, and Trick, Anne, just like me.
Oh, fine. Let's pop it in between those.
Wow. All right, and then we'll get into Band Candy. Did you say your LVP?
Boy, you said Miss Moran.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the Bear Trap guy.
All right, fair enough. It was a cool kill though.
It's a great kill, but like
Without him, you don't get the bear trap moment, though.
Right, but it's such a fun group of villains that I feel like we could have pulled someone else, like maybe from an earlier episode.
What's so fun about the twins?
You know what they could have done? They could have made this guy and still had the bear trap moment. They could have made him that werewolf hunter from Phases.
Yeah, I'll tell you, when we get Ethan Rain in the next episode, I was like, is this Ethan Rain or the guy from Phases? That's the first thing I thought about.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. But what was so good about those twins? Like I felt like they weren't so great either.
They were working for Mr. Pitt, and I like Mr. Pitt, so I'll let him have it.
Their best moment when they take over the limo isn't even in the episode.
Their best moment is when they kill each other.
Oh yeah, you're right. Shout out to the MVP of the episode, Buffy. All right. So next episode.
Next episode is Band Candy.